Today we are finally taking a look at the Intel ARC Battlemage B580 12GB, and this is the ASRock Challenger edition. And the best thing about this is that it comes in at MSRP. So $249 US, or in Australia it is 449 Australian dollars, which for the money, you're getting a lot of graphics card. Let's put that out there straight away. And the second thing I wanted to talk about mainly is, can I recommend this GPU? And the answer is a big yes, as opposed to, on the other hand, the Intel ARC series, where even within my benchmarking and usage, over the last few days, I had issues with the Intel ARC series that I didn't have on the Intel Battlemage series. So it seems like not only is the value a lot better with Battlemage, but also the improvements are night and day, to the point where I only really had bugs as opposed to issues, which I had on the ARC GPUs. And the bugs, yeah, you can get around them. They don't really cause any problems, at least if you're a gamer. The issues, however, like on the ARC GPU, that can cause you to actually not even be able to load a game sometimes. So more on that later. Let's get into some gaming benchmarks here, where today we're comparing it against the RTX 4060, RX 7600, RX 6700 XT, and also the previous generation ARC A770 16GB and the GTX 1080 Ti. Now I did want to put this in the graphs because it is a big favorite on the used market, especially having 11 gigabytes of RAM, and also, as you'll see in some of these benchmarks, still relevant in 2024, going on to 2025. I don't know where you are in the world. You might be getting this video on Christmas Day. If so, Merry Christmas to everyone out there. But let's look at some of these other benchmarks right after today's video sponsor.
If you want to get rid of this annoying activate Windows message, then today's video sponsor SCD Keys has you covered for as little as $15 US. After you enter that coupon code BFTYC, you can cop yourself a legit single end user license today. Also works for Windows 11 Pro too. Links in description below.
Welcome back to Tech Yes City, and the first game that we showed you was Strange Brigade, and at 1080p and 1440p, the Intel ARC Battlemage GPU does extremely well, but you'll notice at 1080p it's slightly losing to the 6700 XT, but then at 1440p it's actually beating this graphics card, and this is one of the few graphs where it does beat the 6700 XT, but it is good to see a 249 USD GPU performing so well in the charts. But let's move on to the next title here, Borderlands 3, and here's where at 1080p and 1440p, the Battlemage GPU does extremely well in this particular title too, beating out the A770. And actually, in all these benchmarks here today, it does beat out the A770 16GB comfortably, and as we see in the power consumption numbers later, it does so with better power efficiency. However, certain titles, and we'll look at, say for instance, Wukong's Command, Black Myth, this game at both 1080p and 1440p, it does lose to the NVIDIA and AMD counterparts. And also the next title, Warhammer, for instance, it doesn't do also spectacular in this particular title too. So depending on the games that you play, the Battlemage can do anywhere from extremely well to mediocre. However, the mediocre is fine because I believe in the future, these games will get patched with performance uplifts, especially in the case of Warhammer, which is a recently released title. I actually got the code provided from AMD, so I'm guessing has more of an AMD focus when it comes to the driver optimizations, at least from day one. Well, let's move on now to Baldur's Gate 3, 1080p and also 1440p here, ultra settings, and here's where the Battlemage does extremely well in both these resolutions, but you will notice a trend throughout all these benchmarks, and that is the GPU is doing better in comparative terms versus all the other counterparts here at 1440p versus 1080p. And this also continues on into Riftbreaker, where the 1080p results are good, but then the 1440p results are impressive. But then for the last title here is Gears 5, and this is at 1080p max settings, both 1080p and 1440p, so probably be the worst displaying for the Battlemage GPUs. But keep in mind, this is probably the oldest title that we're testing in the benchmarks here today. I don't know if Strange Brigade or this game is older, but anyway, Strange Brigade is just completely to the metal, raw FPS, and that shows the potential of the Battlemage GPUs in my opinion. And what I'm seeing here is a very impressive result. Now, the last thing we're going to look at in terms of benchmark numbers is the power consumption numbers, where the Battlemage GPU, at least out of the box, for the performance you're getting, does extremely well. Now, a lot of you guys requested that I take a look at undervolting, and this is where we're going to talk about one of the two bugs, and this is currently with undervolting. I couldn't really lock in any undervolts, and I'm trying so hard to lock in different results, and I ended up settling just for the basic mode and with the offset, and that ended up giving us lower power consumption, but the FPS was significantly lower, at least going from 250 at 1080p in Strange Brigade to 230, and we did get a power drop there. So perhaps with a driver update on Windows 10, we can get a proper undervolt, and I will look into that into the future. But the good news here is that you can at least undervolt this GPU as opposed to the ARC GPUs where you just couldn't undervolt them at all. There was no option to do that. Another thing that's improved, and we'll actually get onto the improvements with Battlemage here, talking about it in a dedicated section right now, is that the GPU had no crashing, no issues that I came into, especially with games when I tested it over the last few days. Just playing games, giving it a good run, it was actually really stable. Now, the last bug that I came into was just with display scaling in the software, and I actually came into this bug pretty quickly, and the whole software just freezes, and then you've got to restart the software. So that's the only two bugs I found, the undervolting and then the software. However, on the flip side, the software capture card support is just night and day difference. This thing works flawlessly now with capture cards without having to change any of the settings around or do any funny buggers. It just works really well, and to the point where it can sometimes work better than at least an AMD card, for instance. If I'm going to 1080p in a particular game, it auto negotiates with the capture card's max frame rate, so I can still get capture and not block out the capture card. So Battlemage in that regard is just extremely good in terms of how far Intel's got this card in terms of stability in one generation, to the point where I'm comfortable, at least with my recent experience using this GPU, recommending it on newer systems. And I do say newer systems with resizable bar support. I will test this thing on an older, say 6th gen CPU or a 1st gen Ryzen, and I will report back in another video later in the future, because a lot of people do like to get a cheap GPU and couple it in with a cheap budget used system. I think that's a very reasonable thing to expect, and this thing is absolutely really good value in terms of new market GPUs. But let's talk about now some other things that I've come into. In terms of doing other tests, we will make a separate video for all the other augmented things that Intel's promised, especially with XS, for instance, versus FSR versus DLSS. I do want to try that out a little bit more, but I wanted to talk about this card in particular in today's video, the ASRock Challenger Edition. And honestly, this thing is really impressive for the size. Comes in around about 750 grams. You're getting two big fans that do a phenomenal job of keeping the card whisper quiet and keeping the temperatures really good. In fact, I just couldn't hear this thing at all in my testing when I had it on the benchmark rig, as opposed to this A770 card. This is a lot heavier, it's a chunker, it uses more power, and it gets pretty loud, especially once you've been playing games for a while. So the ASRock Challenger Edition, if you've come here to say, hey, is this an actual good model of a B580? The answer is absolutely yes. This is a really good card, and I can easily recommend this GPU. Then we look at the back, what we've got for display. We've got HDMI 2.1, as well as DisplayPort 3, 2.1 outs there. So you've got good digital connectivity there in terms of input and output. Also, the last thing I did notice with the software is, at least for now, I believe they've taken away the desktop capture feature. So they just completely removed that. So if you want to use desktop capture, you can just simply download something like OBS. I don't know if Intel plans to release that in the future and bring that back with, say, the AV1 encoder and stuff like that, because this does have good decode and encode abilities available, just like the ARC GPUs had those. So that's another impressive feature about these GPUs, is that they're great for content creation. But again, we're going to talk about that more so in an auxiliary video, because I do believe it's worth talking about all these things with the Battlemage GPUs more in depth, because this is actually really an impressive release from Intel with their Battlemage GPUs. And this is coming from a guy who they've blacklisted. Anyhow, the final thing to talk about is the ray tracing capabilities of these graphics cards. Now, I tested out two different games here, and again, depending on the title and the ray tracing implementation here, for instance, we'll start with Black Myth Wukong's Command. you can get decent ray tracing performance without tanking performance too much, even though I would definitely be tweaking the settings in this game to say lower the resolution and maybe play around with XS or something like that to get ray tracing to work at a fluid frame rate. But then if we go over to say Riftbreaker, the ray tracing doesn't affect performance so much, and you actually get a really good experience on this GPU. So the ray tracing performance is actually better than the comparative AMD cards by quite a significant amount in my opinion, and it's sort of like in the realm of actually being really good considering Nvidia's held the ray tracing advantage. It still does, but it's still good to see the contender is pretty much hitting really hard here in this field. Anyhow guys, all up, ASRock Challenger here, the 12GB model, the B580, really good. Personal things, I'd like to see maybe Intel change the ARC to BMG. Me personally, looking at the ARC branding, it's associated with the Alchemist series, and these couldn't be further apart in terms of recommendations. ARC, I cannot recommend at all to this day even still, just even on my benchmark rig for spending a few hours with this thing and testing it, I came into problems. The Battlemage GPU, been playing games on it for a few days and it's extremely stable. So night and day difference. And I think when you're looking at Intel ARC, you've got that Alchemist sort of, I don't know, just sort of maybe tainting the name of how good the Battlemage GPU is. And so I'd like to maybe see it go with Intel BMG B580 or something like that. I just think this GPU launch is actually really good news for the consumer. It's really good news for the gamers and the tech enthusiasts. And with that aside, I'll catch you guys in another tech video very soon. Again, you might be getting this one in your sub boxes on Christmas Day. If so, Merry Christmas. It's been chaos here. Like the last week. Before that, completely silent, complete crickets. Now it's just, yeah, it's chaos. Anyhow, guys, hope you enjoyed today's review. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.